Yo guys, it's your boy Trader Main from Breakout Prop here, back with another one of our recurring video segments. So this is going over the top trades of the last week. Let's get into it. We're gonna look at the top 5 trades at Breakout from last week. We had some absolute bangers here, mostly on the buy side, but we did have one short as well. So I'm going to kind of just go over what the trade was, and then we'll see if I can add any logic to it, to why they may have taken this trade. First trade here, 8 Bitcoin buy. Open price was 59,391. Close price was 61,241. So they caught a $2,000 move. That's an 8 Bitcoin position, and this is on a $100,000 account. That's a pretty big trade. We're talking almost $500,000. So you get 5x leverage on a 100K account. You can open up a $500,000 position. It's $800 for that account. So let's see if I can make sense of this. They opened the trade on the 24th of June at 9:06. I think this is Central Time. So let's see if I can make sense of it. 24th of June, right here, 9:06 Central Time. So they caught the knife here. I think a lot of these trades were very similar on the Bitcoin buy side here. It was basically buying this swing failure pattern here on the H12. So if you trade like me, we like those H12, those daily sweeps. So obviously you got a little bit of a pop here, but we're in a downtrend here. I mean, yes, we're ranging high time frame, right? Like this is a range, but you do have to be aware, right? Like we're at the range lows here. So my bias at the range lows is looking for longs always. Could this range break down, and could we then trade down to, the lower 50s down into here, fill in some of this inefficiency? Absolutely. But if I get a buy trigger on the lower time frames or the high time frames like this, I'm willing to take a punt, but you still have to keep in mind that intermediate term trend. So high time frame, we're doing this, but the lower time frames, this is a downtrend, right? Like even on the H12 here, this is lower highs and lower lows. So this long, even though it's kind of in the high time frame, lower part of the range, to me, this is still a counter trend trade. And you can see here by their TP, they exited on the first pop. They probably could have targeted into here. That's your first trouble area. And you can see it came right up into the bearish order block, lower high. Now it's made a lower low. So very smart of this trader to be quick with their take profit, right? When you're taking longs in a downtrend, you want to be quick on those take profits because you don't know if that bounce is going to turn around and boom, if he would have held it too long, he stopped out, it's right back at his entry. So when you're trading counter trend, you got to be very, very quick with your TPs, take profit because you are going against that H12 trend here. But good long there, 59,391. So I mean, what was this candle close at? The close was just at 60. So I mean, they longed it right around the close of this candle, right around here in this wick. Dangerous knife catch for sure, but there's some support over here in terms of this order block, and you have a sweep into it. It's a good punt. Maybe they could have held it a little bit longer, but from here to here, it's a $2,000 move. And you got to remember, it's a 2 or 3% move, but it's on a $500,000 position. And you can see that reflected in the P&L, $14,800 P&L. So this was a quick in and out. They were in this trade for less than a day. This is literally like 6-7 hours. Awesome trade. Well done. So let's look at the next one here. I think it's very similar. Basically the same trade. They got a better entry, similar exit, slightly less size. This is around a $300,000 position, $12,000 profit. Looks like the same trade effectively. They bought this sweep. They bought this little move below the lows, and they sold on the first pop. That's a very nice trade. Very nice little day trade there. This trade was held for 7 hours. So 11, almost 12 grand, 7 hours of work. Not so bad. Let's look at the next trade. Solana. So this was taken on the 27th at 3 a.m. It was closed on that same day at 10 p.m. I always got to do the mental math on the 24-hour clock on Solana. So let's take a look. 800 SOL, and their entry price was 137. So 137 times 800. It's a little over $109,000 position here, and they captured basically a 10% move. This was a cooker. So let's go over, look at Solana here. So they got in on the 27th. So it looks like they caught this move here. So this is another, I mean, if I was in this trade, what I would see here, right, is you have an H12 order block right here, and you have a break in market structure to the upside. So when this candle MSBs to the upside, this is now a buy opportunity, right? On the retest here, and you have a nice little sweep here, and they rode that from here to here. I mean, this is what I see, right? H12 order block, sweep. They got in on the 27th, so they probably were entering this even lower time frame. They were buying in this consolidation, maybe on these sweeps here, but you had the breakup, the retest of this level, and then they closed into this up move, and this thing ripped, right? 10% move on a 100K position, that's 10 grand. So nice little pop there. Again, still counter trend. So as much as this had a very nice pop up, this is a downtrend on the H12. This is a clear lower high on the 3-day, potentially threatening as a lower low. You could argue it's already made a lower low. I mean, some of these charts are looking real ugly, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Not looking so hot, but they're taking advantage of the volatility. We had a big move down. We ran a bunch of lows here, right? Ran this big sweep, and they're playing this counter trend long. Very nice trade there. 10 grand profit. The next trade, also on Bitcoin. This is an interesting one. So again, about 10K profit on 3 Bitcoin. This is a $150,000 position. They opened this trade on the 8th of May. This is diamond hands. I mean, they made money. Anytime you make money, it's a good trade. However, they longed basically the lows here. So the 8th of May, they longed like this pullback here. So we had the we had the range low, move up with the higher low. They longed right here. They held it all the way up, took 0 profit at the range high, and it came all the way back down. And then they closed it on the 25th of June, which is here. So they managed to get out at profit. But again, any trade where you make money is a great trade. But at one point, this person was up. Let's just see. This is quite the round trip. I didn't even realize this. So they entered at 58,780. Price went to 72,000. So they were up at one point like 40 grand. They still made $10,000. A win is a win, but they round tripped a lot of UPNL here, right? They held it from here all the way up, all the way back down, and then they closed on this little pop here. So again, they made money, 10 grand. That's amazing. But if you're trading a range, you're buying near the range low, you got to assume it's a range until it's no longer a range, right? So maybe they were hoping they caught the low and this thing was going to break out, but we've had one rejection. Second rejection. Once we lost this kind of structure, I probably would have cut. I absolutely would have cut the trade once we lost the mid-range, because when we reject the range high and then lose the mid-range, good chance we're going to go tag the range low, which is what we're doing now. So they made 10 grand, but man, they round tripped a bag there. So one of the biggest trades we had in the last week, but that is a crazy hold. They held this trade for a month and a half and round tripped about $30,000 in UPNL. 10 grand is 10 grand though. All right, the last trade here was a short on WIF. Oh no, everyone's favorite meme coin. And this person took the hat right off the dog. So let's see here. So WIF has looked kind of terrible. This is precisely when everyone was hating on Don Alt when he shorted after the range high failure, right? Fail the range high. Where's your next target? The range low. So they took this trade. It's 80,000. Is that 80,000 or is that 800,000? 80,000 WIF. Oh, it says right there. I'm smart. 80,000. They shorted at 181 on the 21st of June. So they shorted right here. It's actually quite an aggressive trade because this thing had sold off really hard, but they basically sold the bearish retest, right? So had the breakdown of the range. You had the little bit of a pop here, and they shorted this down move here, and they closed into the low here. So that's got to be a day trade. There's nothing really there on the H12. Short was taken right here. So maybe it was a breakdown here. I don't really know, but they caught basically from here down to here. Quick little scalp. Let's see how long this trade was open for. They were in and out. I mean, this is a day trade. This is a 4.5 hour trade. Shorted this breakdown, closed into this consolidation. They probably wished they held it a little longer, but hey, they got out. They made their money from here to here. Price would have came all the way back and probably stopped them out anyways. But the hat appears to be off right now. $8,000 in 4.5 hours of work on the short side on WIF. So pretty cool. Yeah, some great trades here. Very interesting data. I'm going to be doing these every single week. So every week I'll go through the top 5 trades that made the most money. Maybe I'll go through some of the poorer trades that lost the most money or quickest to breach and blow up their accounts. Maybe that'd be something fun. But I'll do another one of these next week when we get that data. Main from Breakout. Talk to y'all later.